Greetings, Butterfly Tribe, and welcome back to The Way You See Me Heart Healing Ministry. Thank you all so much for your support, for tuning in, for supporting the channel. I want to take this time to say that we have grown to, I think, 80 subscribers in about 3-4 month span. And for me, that's perfect because the type of ministry that The Way You See Me Heart Healing Ministry is, it's not for everybody. It's not just for those who want to be spectators. It's for those who are genuinely ready to go through their journey of healing. Those who are ready to face the hard stuff. Those who are ready to travel back to the little girls and even the little boys, for the guys who tune in, and they're ready to heal. They're ready to come out of that matrix of constantly going around in circles, walking life through a maze. They're ready to be liberated. And scripture tells us that where the Spirit of the Most High is, there is liberty, there is freedom. There's a scripture that says, I've come to set the captives free. And sometimes that freedom is from our own mentality. We have to reach a point in our life where we say, I'm simply tired of me. I'm tired of making the same mistakes. I'm tired of holding on to unforgiveness. I'm tired of allowing other people's actions to dictate and determine my very own actions. I'm tired. And sometimes we have to reach that place of being tired and that place of hitting rock bottom, that place of lying flat on our backs and having nowhere to look but up to the Creator. That's the place. That's who this ministry is for. Those who are ready to heal. Those who are ready to walk in the freedom of being children of the Most High. So thank you again to each and every subscriber. Thank you for all the likes, for the comments, for the shares. Thank you for the support. You could have chosen to tune in to any other YouTube channel, and you chose to be present on The Way You See Me Heart Healing Ministry. Thank you so much, and I hope you stay for this journey because it does get better. It truly is worth the process. Trust the process. Today, I'm going to pick up on my own journey. And a lot of people may be asking, why after all this time am I talking about these things? Because the enemy tried to hold me captive with these things. The enemy tried to use my past against me. The enemy tried to make me believe that I was the actions or the mistakes that I had made. The enemy used the very things that I said in confidentiality against me, and weaponized my own life against me. And now I am taking my power back. That is not who I am. I've grown, and no weapon formed against me will prosper. I'm taking my power back. And me sharing this journey takes that weapon out of his hand and puts it back in my own hands so that I can use my experiences to help other people in their own and not be held prisoner by my own mistakes. Today I'm going to open with scripture, and it's going to come from 1 Corinthians, the 13th chapter, and we're going to start at verse 4. Love is patient, is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not boast, is not puffed up, does not behave indecently, does not seek its own, is not provoked, reckons not the evil, does not rejoice over the unrighteousness, but rejoices in the truth. It covers all, believes all, expects all, endures all. Love never fails. When we listen to this scripture, I say often that 1 John, I think chapter 4 tells us that Yahuwah is love, that the Most High is love. And so everywhere you read the word love, it is describing the characteristics and the personality of our Creator. And so I'm going to do that for you right now in this recording. Yahuwah is patient. Yahuwah is kind. Yahuwah does not envy. He does not boast. He is not puffed up. He does not behave indecently. He does not seek his own. He is not provoked. He reckons not the evil. He does not rejoice over the unrighteousness, but rejoices in the truth. He covers all, believes all, expects all, endures all. Yahuwah never fails. May Yahuwah add a blessing to the readers, hearers, and the doers of his set apart word. So I'm going to pick up today with December of 1993. I had just, in our last recording, I shared with you the joy of giving birth to my first child, Justice, a baby girl, and how I instantly fell in love with her. Now, I don't want anybody out there to think that I am condoning or pushing teenage pregnancy. But one thing I will never do is make my child feel like she was a mistake. She was the sweetest thing that could have come out of that bad situation. And so I'm not promoting teenage pregnancy. I'm not promoting teenage sex. And first and foremost, I'm not promoting premarital sex, because that's where the sin comes in. The sin has nothing to do with age, but the fact that I entered into that relationship not married and engaged in activities that scripture says should be set aside for married people, husband and wife. So this is my junior year. I returned to school. Basketball season has already started, so I resumed practicing with the team. Again, I told you my body was definitely not prepared for the trauma of childbirth, but I bared it and I pushed through. I played in my first basketball game of my junior year. I want to say I was allowed to play a few minutes in our Christmas tournament that our high school hosted, just to get me back into running up and down the court and into the mix of things again. That December, there was an R. Kelly concert here in or close to the town that I lived in. And I can remember the father of my child asking me if I was going to the concert. He never asked if I wanted to go to the concert with him. He just kept asking if I was going to the concert. And I had no intentions of going to that concert. But my best friend, being the best friend that she is, her and her sister bought me a ticket to the concert. And she insisted that I go to the concert with her and her boyfriend, which was another childhood friend of ours, her older sister, and of course myself. She said, "You haven't been out the house since you had Jay, so it's time for you, come to the concert with us. It's going to be fun." So I did. There's something very special about seeing things with your own eyes. You know, I can remember one of my cousins who was hanging out at the Civic Center here. They used to have like a Sunday hangout where it was like a car show. So everybody would go and hang out. Well, I remember my cousin telling me that he had been seeing the father of my child at this hangout or whatever. And shortly after I got pregnant, he, again, I told you, he kind of ghosted me. So he wasn't coming around often. And that's from going to me seeing him almost every day after school. He would attend my games, to basically just disappearing. But I didn't believe it. He also told me other places that he would run into him, and I didn't believe it. But it's something about seeing things with your own eyes. So we get to the R. Kelly concert. And again, I'm 16. Our child is 2 months old at this time. And we arrived to the concert, and as we're walking up to get into the line of the concert, we literally walk and stand right behind the father of my child, his, I'm assuming, new girlfriend at the time, and his sister. And it all made sense. It's kind of like being in the right place at the right time and also the wrong place at the wrong time. Because what should have been a very exciting night was like torment. So we walk up behind them, and we're literally the next people behind them in line. And our 2-month-old daughter was at his parents' house for the weekend. And literally, when he saw me, he looked at me as if he had never seen me a day in his life. Like I was a complete stranger. And regardless of what anybody say, I have always been raised to be classy. It's nothing about me. I told you in earlier videos, I'm very non-confrontational and I hold a lot of stuff in. So I just stood there. But my best friend, being the friend she is, called his name, and she was like, well, hey, such and such, how you doing? And he literally turned around, spoke to her, and still looked at me as if he had no idea who I was. And I was hurt. Of course I was hurt. But looking back, when the Most High wants you to know something, He's going to reveal it to you. He's going to reveal those people who He had no intentions of ever being in your life. He, you know, what they intended, what the enemy intended for evil, He'll still utilize those things and turn it around for your good. But He will let you know who is for you and who is not. And I think I was more embarrassed than anything because, I mean, we were on speaking terms. No hello, nothing. Just like I was a total stranger, but yet we had a 2-month-old daughter together. And then it all made sense. It all began to make sense. This was the person that he stood in the hospital room and told he loved her. I sat through that concert embarrassed and hurt, and absorbing a lesson that was so profound in my life. It took me back to the words, if you loved me, you would. And love can't be proven in ways that don't line up with Scripture. As I said before, you should never prove your love to someone by disproving your love to yourself. But this point of what the enemy was doing, because remember, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but with principality and the spiritual world, and the spirit working through him came to steal, kill, and destroy. And had it not been for the Most High, he may have accomplished that. So I always ask, if it had not been for Yahuwah on my side, where would I be? Imagine what was supposed to be your first night out having fun as a teenager, hanging out with your friend, and boom, you run into reality. Reality check. And I'm looking back and sharing this experience. So my initial reaction to that was anger. So when I got home, I did call his mom, and I told her that, I just kind of yelled at her like, y'all knew this. Y'all knew all along that this was going along, and y'all said nothing. And I, wasn't disrespectful, but I did demand that they bring my baby home. I want my baby home tomorrow. And that's how I left it. And that's where we ended. I see this saying going around now, talking to women, saying, never let a man tell you more than once he don't want you. And this young man had told me that plenty of times, when he denied our child, when he ghosted me, when he wouldn't sign her birth certificate, when he treated me like I was absolutely nothing to him after So a lot of people would say that he left a void in my life. Let me clear that up. He didn't leave a void in my life. Him coming into my life and me going through the things I did was me attempting to fill a void that was already there. That void was already there from my own father not being in my life, and from my stepfather walking out of our life, and from a lot of different things where I felt void. He was one of the temporary things that came into my life that I tried to fill that void with. He didn't leave a void in my life. There was a void in my life where there needed to be healing and understanding. So you don't ever give the enemy more power than he deserves. Had I known who I was in the beginning, at age 13, had I been taught to value myself and know my self-worth and know that I don't have to prove my love to anyone in ways that discredit me or change my character, lower, my self-worth, my self-esteem, tarnish my dignity. Had I known those things, I wouldn't have ever been in that situation. So no, he didn't leave a void in my life. He just could never fill the void that was never his place to fill. The void that I felt going into that relationship could only be filled by the Most High, my first love. And I want young ladies to understand that that void you feel, don't ever trust another human to fill it. They're not prepared. They cannot fill that void. Go to your Creator with all your broken pieces and allow him to mend those broken places in you. Now, this instance with this young man opened the doors to a pathway of darkness that took me a very long time to come out of. But he didn't leave me with a void. That void was already there. So again, love is patient. They'll wait. Love is kind. It is gentle. Love does not envy. It does not boast. Don't go around beating on its chest. Not puffed up, not walking around arrogant like they're God's gift to humanity, the Most High's gift to humanity. It doesn't behave indecently. It has self-control. It does not seek its own, meaning love will look for what's best for the other person and not for itself. They'll put you first. It is not provoked, meaning it's slow to anger. It reckons not the evil, does not rejoice over unrighteousness. It don't take honor in doing things outside of the will of the Most High, but it rejoices in truth. It aligns with the word of the Father. It covers all, believes all, expects all, endures all. True love will keep you knitted together, wrapped up, covered, and protected. Love never fails. Not this counterfeit love you hear people talking about. The true love of the Most High. The love that is described in these scriptures never fails. You cannot give love your definition and said it is not supposed to fail. If it's not built on this word, it's going to fail. Love, true love, the love of the Father will fill every void in your heart. Trust Him with your healing. Trust Him with every area of your life where you feel deficient. Trust Him even when those who claim they love you mistreat you. Do not allow that mistreatment and their claim of love to make you think that that's how the Most High behaves. That is counterfeit. Real love conquers time and space, and it never fails. I hope you have enjoyed this testimony. When the Most High wants you to see, He'll make it very obvious so that you can make clear decisions and you can walk away from things that were never sent into your life by Him. Join us again for The Way You See Me, Heart Healing Ministries. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. We appreciate you.